welcome to my channel. This is Bremwood and I am here with...
My name is Anthony Udba.
Yeah, Mr. Anthony is one of the councilor. Yeah, in the Hague. And in Dutch we call that...
we call it raadslid. Raadslid.
Oh, raadslid, okay. So today it's about interviewing Mr. Anthony about the political view within the Netherlands and Nigeria. Yeah, so now we have some questions. So yeah,
looking forward to it. Thanks for having me today. I must say, it's when I got the message, I felt really honored, and it made me realize that being in this position, I also have a responsibility of fulfilling the impact that we have to make in our society, right?
Yes.
So I was really honored. So thank you very much for having me today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So now let's go straight to the first question. And the first question is, can you provide insight into your journey as a Dutch politician with Nigerian roots? Yeah,
that's a really compound question, right?
Yes.
It's been tough. Let me put it that way. So, but still, you have a role to play in the community. So the first time when I came to the Netherlands, I knew that we need to do something to change the perspective of how people see our people, right? And so you look for ways in which you can create that impact, because I think sometimes we are being misjudged, being seen as something else that we aren't. And I think most Nigerians that come here, we're here to make the best out of life and to create opportunities and to also take opportunities that are available, right? So I was wondering, how can I make this impact? How can I show the Dutch community as a whole that we're not here for bad things or things like that. We're here for good, right? And one of the ways is either you have money, put it that way, which I don't have. I'm a common immigrant, right? Or you do something in the society which could create impact from. And politics has been something that all the way from Nigeria, I was quite interested in.
Okay.
So it was quite easy for me to follow the politics way in making this impact.
Yeah, but what motivated you to enter politics here in the Netherlands?
It's actually to create, to change perspective of how people look at us. And also to be an example. Because I think the youths and everyone coming up, someone that really inspired me myself personally was Barack Obama.
Okay.
When Barack became the president of America, then it was like opening a gateway for the rest of the black people all over the world.
Yes.
And saying we can participate and we can get into those positions, right?
Yeah.
So I was looking on the way, how can I copy this man and do it on my own local level? Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So
then you came to the Netherlands.
Same. I was in the Netherlands and I was like, okay, also we need to change perspective. And the way to change it is to go into politics or to do something you are good in. And explore that and use that to make the impact. And something I was quite interested in way from the young age was politics. So that's why.
Yeah, so how would you describe the Nigerian community's role and impact within the Dutch society?
Yeah, I think we have, as Nigerians, we have a bigger role, a bigger shoe that we can actually fit in as community.
Okay.
Because although the Nigerian population here in the Netherlands is quite small, when you look at it in comparison to other ethnic groups which are here, because most of us, when we come here, we get the passports and there is a barrier of the language. And I tend to see that a lot of people then tend to travel to the UK and stay there. But the Netherlands, the Kingdom of the Netherlands itself, we are the second biggest business partner as Nigeria, because we import and export crude oil from Nigeria to Shell, that processes and sells it back to Nigeria. So half of our money is coming to the Netherlands. Let me put it that way. So we have a big impact to play actually. A lot of trade going on between Netherlands and Nigeria. As the second biggest trade partner, we have big impact to play.
Okay. And in your experience, what challenges do individuals of Nigerian origin face in the Netherlands?
Yeah, I think putting it this way, the first barrier we face is not being understood.
Okay. And what do you mean by the word understood?
Yeah, not being understood, right? Because there's an image of Nigeria that is not only in the Netherlands but in the whole Western world. We are known for things like Yahoo Yahoo and things like that,
Yes.
right? That's number one. But the understanding is also in the language. The language is also a big barrier for Nigerians. The Dutch language is not the most easiest language to learn. It's one of the hardest in the world when you even look at the charts and information about that. So it tends to create a big barrier for people to stay. Because if you cannot communicate, people can understand you, you can express yourself, you can be part of the community. But what I have seen is that when you can beat that barrier and overcome that language barrier, and you can make yourself understood and express yourself, then the opportunities here are like, there are lots of opportunities.
Yes, and what do you see in the context of integration for Nigerians?
Integration is also a big something, because there are lots of cultural differences between Nigeria and
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But there are also lots of cultural things we have in common, like Christmas and New Year. It's almost the same thing.
Yes.
It's tradition, Christian, and almost the same thing. So integration is difficult at a certain sense, but also there's a basis you have which you can build on. But it comes in learning the language, that's number one, so you can understand, but also learning the culture and the way of things, how the Dutch people do things, because this country is a complete bureaucracy. If you want something from the government, you have to fill 20 forms.
Yes.
So things like that. It's also a very digitalized country. Everything is from the computer and things like that. This is also something that creates a barrier for people who come in here new, especially the older generation. The newer generation that are coming are perfect, but the older generation had a problem of understanding the system and the computer system and the bureaucracy, and I think that scared a lot of people away. Yeah.
Okay, so what cultural values or aspects do you consider crucial for the successful integration of individuals with Nigerian heritage into the Dutch society?
Yeah, that's a big way that we are different from Dutch people is the Dutch society is quite individualized, let me put it that way. So, as a human being, you have the responsibility to take care of yourself in a big way. Which, when you look at it in the Nigerian way, we are sort of a family-centered sensed community, right?
Yes.
Family is everything for us. And, there are stories which you hear. I don't know if it's true, but you hear them quite common that you have older people living in an old house.
Yeah,
in the Netherlands, where they won't see their children for like almost a year. And Nigerians are different from that. We feel the responsibility of taking care of our parents and our.
Either they come to live with you or you send your child to live with them.
Precisely. But like me, I call my mother almost once in 2 days, and my sister almost every week, because I just want to know how they're caring for. And I don't think most of my colleagues here in the Netherlands will even think about that during those phone calls. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we are quite different. So you have to understand it and have the perspective of everyone is just taking care of himself and immediate family, and we have the tendency of thinking about family members and everyone behind.
Okay. So, could you share notable contributions or achievements of the Nigerian community in the Netherlands?
Oh yes, there are plenty.
So, yeah, list few.
There are lots of people. People I know personally. I know someone who is, for example, is one of the biggest directors in this gemeentehuis. His name is Lawrence Ekehosa. Shout out Lawrence.
Yeah.
Which is actually big position for someone who came in at a late stage in life. So he also learned the system and came in. There are also people who work for Tesla. I know people who work at banks, in government also. So you can see the new generation of Nigerians who are able to cope with the system and enter the system because we are people like we know they carry last.
Yeah, it does. It's
So
Nigerians. You always see Nigerians everywhere.
precisely. So when we enter the system successfully, we tend to like progress to see how far we can come, and that's something very notable for the Nigerian mentality.
Yes. Always wanting to work and yeah, just to make it.
The hustle is hard, but we hustle till we die. Put it that way.
Yeah. So, okay, balancing the representation of Nigerians' interest and activity participating in Dutch politics,
Yeah.
like you do,
Yeah.
was it something very complex for you?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Because once you become a politician here in the Netherlands and you are the councilor, people tend to look up to you like, and let's say, they think you are big, right?
Yeah, you are big.
That you have money. With one phone call, you can get everything done.
Yeah.
But the complexity of the Dutch political system is different from our Nigerian system. But people try to see it as the same. But nevertheless, I still try to engage with our Nigerian communities and create information for them and where are the opportunities in this local council, but also nationwide that we can make use of. I knew I worked with the last ambassador quite close in engaging the Nigerian community in The Hague,
Yeah.
and so also some key figures in the community also to see how we can inform our people about the opportunities that are here and how they can make use of it. But at the end of the day, I cannot put my finger way too long because people then say, okay, you say we can use this subsidy and this way to get this subsidy so we can do this event or create this awareness. And I say, yes. And there you can go, you can fill the form, you can ask for it, and I'm going to help you.
Okay.
But I cannot make it possible.
Yes, that's right. You can only try your best.
I can only try my best to make them get into the system, but it's not that I have a back way of fixing it. And I think sometimes I try to manage that in communication with the Nigerian community, but sometimes maybe people think, oh, he doesn't want to do it. But it's not because I don't want to do it, it's because I don't have that influence to go that far. And it doesn't work that way in the Netherlands.
Okay, but how do you navigate this balance with your political career and the Nigerian community and stuff?
My people are my people. I visit Nigerian churches quite regularly here in The Hague. I have some father figures, let me put it that way, here in The Hague, which I go to from time to time. I go to them for advice and just to talk to them and see from the old Nigerian knowledge how we can use that to impact the Dutch community. So I'm quite in touch with the Nigerian community. Yeah.
Okay, so from your standpoint, you've been with a lot of Dutch politicians, with a lot of people, even international politicians, I would say.
Sure.
So how do you think they view Nigerian politics?
Yeah, I think when you talk to most people of power and you talk to them about Nigeria, one of the things they name as the problem is corruption. Corruption that is huge in Nigeria. And I think from that perspective, actually, that's how they view Nigeria. So the image is, we still have work to do to change that image. But there are some light points in the whole situation, and put it that way.
Okay, but how do you address maybe any potential misunderstandings or misconceptions?
Of course, I try to do. One thing you don't do as a Dutch politician here is make statement about Nigerian politics, because it would be wrong, interfering with something I don't have no saying about.
Yeah.
But what I try to do is the perspective of how Nigerians are being viewed. Because I think a nation is made up of the individuals.
Yes.
So you can view the company name as blah blah blah, but as long as you're respecting the employees and seeing the capabilities they have. So I try to portray Nigeria in a positive way, because we have lots of potentials, especially the youths. And when you look at Africa as a continent, I think we have the most youths. At least almost 50% of our population is under the age of 35. So when you look at the potential for the next coming future, let's say the next 20 years, it's actually something big. And you can see Nigerians home and abroad, everywhere. Everyone is getting highly educated.
Yes, that's right.
That's something we are doing, and we are doing it also in fields that are very relevant for the future. IT, health. I know a lot of IT guys here who work for big companies, and they were brought up, they were picked from Nigeria to come work here because of what they have. And I think that potential we still have. We are trying to monetize it now, but I think in the next 10, 15, 20 years to make Nigeria as a population, as a country, very, very relevant.
That's nice. And before coming to the Netherlands, have you ever participated in politics back home?
No. I came to the Netherlands at the age of 17. Politics was something. So I have a friend in Nigeria, a classmate actually, and he was always very politics minded, right?
Yeah.
He's studying law now in Nigeria, and I speak to him regularly, and he says, I want to become governor of Lagos. And he has also been saying that way back. So I think from him, I picked a little bit of politics sense.
Yeah.
But I actually didn't put it in practice in Nigeria till I came into the Netherlands.
Okay. And are there any lessons you believe Nigerians can learn from Netherlands politics?
I think the way a country is being run and the role of the government, when you look at it from that sense, we still have a lot to learn. Because sometimes the way the Dutch government is run actually as a company.
Okay.
As a business proposal, also a business economic proposal. So it has to make money, it has to generate income.
Yeah.
But you also have to manage what the people can expect from the government. So when you look at it, every year we have a balance sheet, what's going in, what's coming out. We are not only looking at the natural resources that we have, because when you look at it, the Dutch government actually closed the biggest gas field in Europe last year.
Okay.
But the economy can still run. And our economy is being based on oil. For almost, when you get the budget of Nigeria, almost 70% is coming from the oil revenue, right?
Yeah.
So we need to actually diversify. We have a lot of potential. We have land, going into agriculture. We have tourism. Nigeria is a very beautiful country.
Yes.
You can do a lot of tourists, and we have human resources. So when you name it, Nigeria is actually in potential one of the richest countries. But when you fully focus on one income revenue, then you tend to forget all your potential. And if one thing happens to that one income revenue, then you're weakened. So we have to look at it in a broader way. Nigeria has to generate income from a bigger spectrum.
So what you're trying to say is they should try to focus on different ways whereby they can generate income.
Yeah.
And not just on oil.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at the tendency now in Europe when it comes to oil, a lot of things are changing, right? From 2030 in Europe, you cannot buy any new engine from gasoline or diesel. Any new cars all new cars must be electric.
From 2030, right?
From 2030.
I need to work hard.
So you see, the Western world is changing. The dependence on oil is changing. So when that fully changes, it could be of a big impact to Nigeria's economy. So we need to look at it on a bigger way. We can start production in Nigeria. We have a lot of IT guys. We can go into startups. We can become the Silicon Valley of Africa. We are actually Lagos because we can make that bigger. When it comes to entertainment also. Though we didn't win the Grammy, I know we didn't win the Grammy. But we are in the world when it comes to entertainment. We are the biggest names.
Yes.
We have to put that out there and make that monetize that more. But also to the masses, we have to pay taxes, right?
Yes.
The Dutch government is based on tax. 40 to 50% of your income is tax. So also the people have to start paying taxes, but then the government has to be accountable of the money that's coming in and what's being done from the money. Because I think it's not paying the tax that's the problem. It's seeing the betterment, let me put it that way.
The impact.
The impact, and seeing that things are getting better.
Yeah.
But there are light points, let me put it that way.
Okay.
There are light points. I also follow Nigerian politics on far away, but I see some good signs coming up. And I think from now up on, I hope to see positive changes, bigger.
Okay, so what role do you believe diaspora communities, such as the Nigerian community here in the Netherlands, can play in shaping international relations between the two countries, let me say?
Yeah, that's what I said. I actually tend to believe that everyone who has two backgrounds, let me put it that way, you have a big opportunity. So if you grew up in Nigeria or you started in Nigeria and you come to the Netherlands and you can learn the two communities, you have a big way of creating a bridge between them. Also when it comes to trade, because there are a lot of things that are here in excess and that we need there, or vice versa.
Yeah.
There are products you can get from Nigeria and bring it here. So that's the way we can impact the community. The diaspora community can actually say, we are Nigeria, we are also here, look at us. But also movie. I was very, very, very happy for the event they organized. I couldn't be there then. Actually, I tried my possible best to be there. But when you showcase Nigerian movie here in the Netherlands, those are things that create the positive impact. I say, this is us. We're also here. And we have good things to bring. One of the people communities that actually did this good is the Chinese community. Because when you look at the Chinese community, in every big city you have in the world, you have Chinatown.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's how you create a positive impact internationally as a diaspora community. We need to start building.
So what would be your advice to Nigerians in the Netherlands now with regards to this?
Get into the system. I know at the front it's be very shocking. I've been in lots of rooms in which I was the only black man, and when I sit down there, in the beginning I was kind of afraid, right?
Okay.
To say something because I was the only black man. You have for you to enter the door is one step, so you have to take that step.
Okay.
And when you get inside, you have to say something. That's what we need to start doing. So know the system, get into the system, and make that impact. And when you make that impact, make sure you are taking people along so that people are following you. One of the things I tend to do is I always say, if I do something new or I talk to new kind of people, I want them, the impression I want to make is to create opportunities for other people coming behind me. So when I get a job, I make sure I work very good there. So when another black person come and solicit for that job or another job in the company, people can say, we had that Anthony, that guy is kind of mad. Maybe this one is also mad too, let's bring him in. That's the impact you want to create.
Yeah.
And from that mindset, you are creating opportunities for yourself, but you're also creating a window for others. And that's.
Yeah, that's nice. And can you highlight some similarities and maybe differences between the Netherlands politics and Nigerian politics?
Yeah, but politics all over the world there are quite similarities, right?
Okay.
I think when it comes to similarities, let's put it on campaign on election, for
Okay.
example. Politicians, we try to, when it comes to election time, we tell you how we see the country and how we want to move it forward, or how we see the community, how we want to move forward. But after the election comes a process in which you make agreements with other parties on how to go forward, because you are not the only one that will be there. So it's creating a coalition, and in that coalition is give and take. You cannot bring all your points in. And I think that's kind of expectation management that is all everywhere, either here or home back in Nigeria. That's number one. When it comes to differences, on paper there are lots of differences on the way the country is organized. So here it's very bureaucratic and heavy. Everything has to be on paper, every form, and till the cent has to be accounted for. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't been engaged in Nigerian politics.
So you don't really have idea.
I can't say about that. But when you look at the perspective you see in the papers and in what you hear from news outlets, you tend to see there are differences there between Nigeria and the Netherlands. Let's put, for example, now a councilor here in the Netherlands. I share office with 7 of my other colleagues. I don't have a car from the government. I don't have security from the government. I ride on my bicycle.
Yeah, Dutch.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Nothing. You get a fee every month, but you cannot live from that. So I work also part-time at the Ministry of Economic Affairs. But if you are a councillor in Nigeria, so it's
Allowance.
allowance is there. You don't have to have work part-time in another place just to make an ends meet.
Yes.
So there are differences.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So how do you engage with the Nigerian diaspora in the Netherlands to foster a sense of community and collaboration?
Yeah. Like I said, the first time when I was campaigning for this office, the first thing I did to begin the campaign was I went to the Nigerian ambassador.
Okay.
Then Miss Eniola, which now she's been she's no longer the ambassador now, but she was then. So I went to her for a blessing, and I went to her to see how we could discuss on engaging the Nigerian community in The Hague, because we have a big community here, also almost 7,000 people. And then she actually created a way for me to get into contact with some key figures in the community. So you have UMP, which is actually an umbrella organization for different kind of Nigerian communities here. I'm also engaged with the Edo Association here in The Hague, the Igbo Association here in The Hague. We have the Women of Integrity, which actually is a national organization with mothers and women. And when I have, because I'm responsible for topics on youth and culture, and when I have things I'm making ideas for the municipality here, I call them and I ask them, okay, how will this impact our community? And how can we create a way in which our community can make use of the policies we are putting through? And that's the way I try to bring in our people in impacting policy. So that's one on the formal way, but on the normal way, I'm everywhere.
Okay.
I'm at Nigerian parties. I go, like I said, I go to Nigerian churches. I try to go to Nigerian churches quite often. Yeah.
And are there specific ways or policy you think collaborations between the Netherlands and Nigeria can enhance mutual benefits?
Yeah, there are lots. Let me take, for example, culture.
Okay.
Culture is something very, very important. We have in Nigeria, I follow a lot of Instagram artists. You know, those people who make sculptures of popular people.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to do now is see how we could get in Nigerian culture here to expose. I think we are quite talented. We can draw. We can sing. We can create a lot. We are good in creating, Nigerians.
Yes.
We need to bring that here.
And
it's quite worth a lot here.
And are you looking forward, or are you working towards that personally?
Yes. I'm actually working towards that. I have a connection with someone in the Ogun State administration, which I'm trying to see how we could create, let's say, a fair, an art fair, a Nigerian art fair here in the Netherlands. So I hope to be doing that very soon, although there are lots of things we still need to talk about.
Yes.
But I hope we can do that very soon.
Yeah, that's nice. How do you perceive the influence of the Nigerian diaspora on Dutch political decisions and policies?
At this moment, we still need to do more. And when I mean more, it's just engagement, community engagement.
Yeah.
Because when you look at other communities, the Moroccans are quite organized, right? The Antillians also, the Hindustans also, they're quite organized. They have big organizations. I think our Nigerians, we still need to that kind of local engagement. I mean, I understand it, because Nigerians, we hustle hard, we work a lot, because we need to make ends meet. We need to send back to our people in Nigeria.
Yes.
So when you do that finish, on Sunday you want to rest if you are not even working. You don't want to go to any meeting of your streets to talk about how your street will be redesigned. You don't want to go to any rally to talk about policies that needs to be changed. You don't have time or energy for that. But we need to do that more. Because only when you do that more, your voice can be heard. But it's coming up. What I'm saying, the younger generation, me myself, going into politics is also.
It does something.
So it's coming up, but we need
more.
Yeah.
Okay, and what challenges and opportunities do individuals of Nigerian origin face here in the Netherlands?
Yeah, actually, it's like I said earlier, it's being understood generally. And being understood comes to communication.
Yeah.
So that's one of communication and language. That's one of the biggest barriers.
Okay, and Can you discuss any specific project or policies you have been involved in that aim to strengthen the relationship between Nigerian communities and the Netherlands?
Personally, when it comes to my position as councilor,
Yeah.
not actually yet, because the relation between the municipality of The Hague and the Nigerians, the gap is big, although we have the Nigerian embassy here, they're doing quite a good work. But what I try to do is, from my party, my political party, the VVD, we have kind of think tanks, and when it comes to topics on Africa and the policies we need as a nation, how we need to look at Africa, I let my voice to be heard. Because what you see Western worlds doing is seeing Africa as a kind of an aid project. We are sending money to help them. It's help. But I think African nations don't need help. We need to be seen as a business case. We want to make money. Stop giving us fish. Teach us how to fish.
Yeah.
Come, invest in our country. We don't want you to give free money. Create company so that people can get employed. Make use of the talents we have and create something that can be there, that can benefit the people there. That's what we need to do. So I try to bring that voice into our party, because when you look at the biggest problems in the Western world these days is migration, right? There are lots of debates about migration. A lot of people wanting to come into the Western world. And you can do everything you want. You can build gates, build walls of 10 meters, and do this and do that. At the end, the choices people have to make from where they are coming from, if those choices don't get better, it doesn't matter what you build here, they will come and climb the wall and enter.
Yeah.
So we need to invest there if we don't want people to come here. And that is where I tend to push that message into the national politics, because from there you can do nothing. And I was one of our ministers went to Nigeria last week or last 2 weeks, also on this topic about migration, but also how investments can be done. And you see from there things start growing. Now there are lots of investment schemes you can get into from the Dutch government. They give you money, you go to Nigeria and start, for example, farming. You can buy tractors and start industrial farming from everywhere. So, but those things need to be bigger.
Yeah. Yes. And someone who is actively engaged in the Netherlands politics, what advice would you give to young Nigerians aspiring to also be into politics here in the Netherlands?
Yeah, that's we need more. Any young person out there, you want to go a politician, and you're from Nigerian descent or African, no matter where, get in contact with me, please, because we need more.
Yeah.
But there are ways you can start. A lot of political organizations have a youth fraction.
Okay.
So, for example, me, I started from a youth fraction. It was actually a sort of debating crew. You go there, you have a nice time, but you talk about politics and political discussions. So that's where you start from, and then you get bigger from there.
Oh. So also with the view of we have a lot of students here in the Netherlands that are from Nigeria.
True.
So what do you think they need to do in order to integrate and to understand the system?
Yeah, the message to Nigerian students, I know a lot also, and personally involved with a few of them. I think the most important thing is learn the language.
Okay.
It's so important. Designate time and designate brain capacity to learn the language. Because if you learn the language and you're also educated, you are in. The Dutch population is actually very old. I think they estimated in the next coming 5 to 10 years, almost 3 million people working in the Netherlands, we have to go with pension. So if you are losing 3 million of your working capable people to pensioning, you have to exchange them with also people who can do the job. So education is number one, but the language is also very important. If you have those two capabilities, there's always a spot for you somewhere.
And we also have a lot of students who wants to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you think they need to do? Aside the language and, maybe they are going to learn the language, right?
Yeah.
But they also need some other means to be able to, mix with the economy, with the society. So what do you think they need to do? Leaving the language out of it. Well, they will learn the language. Yeah, that's number one.
That's basic.
Yeah, that's number one. But what other things do they need to do? Like to I guess you understand me.
I know. Mingle with Dutch people. Mingle with Dutch people. I know in the beginning it can be a kind of, you feel distance, either from yourself or from them. But try to mingle. Because also one of the key things is that either Nigeria or here is connections.
Yes.
It's who you know, because you cannot know everything yourself, right? But if you know other people that know the system, that can fill in the gaps for you, that's what you need. So you need connections. You need a network. So organize a network of people who understand the system. Mostly it's Dutch people, but there are also Nigerians who know the system.
People like you.
People like me, for example. But there are lots of people out there also. So try to mingle with people who know the system, and they can fill in gaps for you. And that's very, very important. For me, for example, when we came to the Netherlands, we started living in Limburg.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. There's no Nigerian community in Limburg.
Yeah, a lot of Nigerians consider that part of the Netherlands to be outskirts.
I know. But what that does is it forces you to mingle with the people that are there.
Yeah.
But if you come to The Hague, for example, if you say you want to talk to Nigerians every day for the next coming 12 years, there are a lot of Nigerians. You don't need to talk to any other people. If you want to speak Pidgin for the rest of your stay here in the Netherlands for 10 years, it's possible.
Yeah.
Because we have the community is big. But what we tend to do is then click into the community, and it becomes a bubble. I'm not saying it's bad, but also you have to, from outside that bubble, get some other information. And it starts by mingling. When you mingle, build a network on LinkedIn. That's very important. Go to events. There are lots of free events about problems in the community of the Netherlands.
Okay.
Try to get engaged in those type of things. If you're in a university, there are lots of student organizations, right?
Yes.
Try to click into those student organizations. I know of a student organization here in The Hague, for example. It's a black student organization. They're doing good work in impacting the community and impacting our people of color. But all those students organizations, click into them. Try to get into the room. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Grab a seat at the table.
Okay. So that's all.
Okay.
And thank you for having me here, Mr. Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to use this medium to also thank Ray Production for our support to make this very successful. So shout out to Ray Production. And to everybody watching this, to every youth, we have what we call the Nigerian Youth Netherlands. They also have like Instagram page. Yeah, NYN. You can go to Instagram. So to know more information about the Netherlands, you can follow their account.
Yeah, the NYN is big. I forgot to mention them also. They also helped in the campaign period, which was very great. NYN is a big organization that actually also organize events in youth engagement, Nigerian youth engagement. I think they have been doing a good work.
Yes, so, and thank you once again.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for
Yes,
having me.
yes.
It was a pleasure doing, and I hope to see more Nigerians more engaged. And if there's anyone who has any question about the Dutch system or says, okay, this and this problem I have, always send me a message from Facebook or from Instagram. There are people that have my number. You can ask around and get my number, and I can always say, okay, try this or try that or try that. So that is open out there.
Yes, people can also add in the comment section, so you question and I will surely send to you as well.
Yes.
So yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks a
I
lot.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.